So many times when people will go, hey, what do you think of this? Trying to show their work. Don't do that. Say to somebody that you respect. I can't tell you how much I respect Maddie and Dave. I would take my work and say, you laugh, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
It is hard to take him seriously.
No, but I would take my work to them and say, look, what's wrong with it? And I mean this sincerely. Take your work and say, what's wrong with it, to somebody you trust creatively. If you're able to do that, your work's going to be better, because you're not asking them what's your opinion. You're asking them to help you make it stronger. And I think that's something. I think Paul Arden was the one that sort of said, find somebody you trust and really respect creatively, take your work to them and say, what's wrong with it? And that work will get better because of it. So it's not a bad idea. And I mean that sincerely. So I have Dave Bowman and Maddie Burton's personal telephone numbers. For a certain fee, I would be happy to get that to as wide of a creative community as possible. And you know, they love taking calls in the wee hours of the night as well.
So glad you can't remember my phone number.
Yeah.
I think one of my former bosses once said to me that the best headline in the world is 50% off. And if you could get away with 60% off, that would be even better. And I think we kind of forget very frequently that a large part of what we do is to try and sell things and make people feel differently about them and kind of have that kind of impact. And I think particularly the awards game can be really dangerous for that, because particularly for juniors, I think kind of a lot of them, I think, grow up thinking, oh, okay, so there's a series of tricks to this thing. And, you know, there's almost an equation for how you do a case study, and there's a type of idea that, you know, if it's seen to have a social purpose, will have more impact, or it's, you know, this or that, or you know, you've got to be really rude, or you've got to be, you know, someone's got to get hurt in the video to cut through. Or there's all these other kind of easy check boxes that you can do to kind of get part of the way there. And I think what happens with that stuff is you win bronze. You know what I mean? And like someone earlier today said, when people start playing the numbers game and going, right, how many did you win? Kind of bronze is not really going to cut it. Those ideas that win the Grand Prix, though, I think they're, unless there's a sort of complete anomaly, they're infectious. Everyone from a junior who's never worked in a business through to someone who, you know, your grandma would look at it and go, oh, that's really interesting. It's not a sort of inside joke for advertising or a sort of shoegazing idea that you kind of go, well, what you don't realize is that's referencing a classic ad from this period that no one can remember in the real world. So yeah, I think we kind of get confused about what game we're playing sometimes.
I doubt somebody like Bill Birnbach has ever done a scam ad. I doubt a lot of them have. But I think Jeff Goodby said it really well, is if you get in a taxi and the taxi driver says, so what do you do? Oh, I'm in advertising. So which ads have you done? That's, to me, when somebody says, which ads have you done? If you can rattle off ads that person has seen and kind of likes, that's what we should be doing. We should be having, you know, our job is to give our clients a larger share of the future. So that means real impact. In ad award shows, 80-90% have never really truly seen the light of day in a popular one. The ones that do, the ones like Volvo, you know, the ones that have this amazing sort of impact, as you say, they're the ones that everybody adores because they're just so good. Sony balls. I remember seeing Sony balls. I remember seeing one of my probably my favorite print out of all time was VW for the Polo, where all the guys are hiding behind the Volkswagen Polo as these American cops, as opposed to the big American cop cars. It's just it's joy. Seeing the muscles from Brussels on, you know, standing between two trucks, not knowing that he's going to do the ultimate split. It's just joyful. Have impact. And if you have real impact, if you get so talked about and you get shared and everything, and it used to be just talked about. These days you can share and stuff. If you have that impact, don't be surprised. The awards will follow. But if you set out to make awards, you know, it's not going to happen. My son told me, Dad, I'm going to be rich when he was 17. I'm going to buy you an island, and I'll make sure there's surf on it. I'm going, sweet. But then he found out setting out to become rich doesn't really work. Oh, well. I won't get an island. Looks like I'm not getting it. No, but you know, it's the kind of thing where if you set out just to win awards, wow, what a silly sort of, yeah. And I think this notion of taking ourselves too seriously should be addressed, because we're here, you know, our clients, the decisions they make can affect their careers if they make the wrong decision and this kind of thing. And it's, yeah. But when you see great work, that's had a major impact that you absolutely adore and you say, I wish I did that. That's kind of what it's all about. Everything else is just posing. Everything else is just kind of kindergarten. So.
I think it's a really, really good time to live in Asia. I think we're at the beginning of, or the middle of, a very exciting period of time. I think never before has America been so slow. You know, large chunks of Europe are financially in all sorts of strife, and I think Asia is moving at speed of sound. Some of the most exciting work's coming out of here. Some of the most exciting people are not leaving here. They're staying now because the industry is buoyant. I think the next few years from this part of the world, is going to be a bit of a seismic shift. And not of the kind of work for jury's sake, but of the work that just has a massive impact and ends up winning anyway. But it will surprise people.